Hello and welcome to Baking on a Budget. Now this time what we have is these wonderful homemade crumpets. An excellent homemade crumpet recipe, very simple to make, absolutely delicious. Got everything we need to make it over here. I'm going to run through this and tell you what the quantities are and how much these crumpets cost. To begin with, we have 180 grams of plain flour at 9 pence. We've got 1 teaspoon of yeast at 8 pence. We've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder at 3 pence. We've got 1 teaspoonful of sugar at 6 pence. We've got 30 grams of butter at 23 pence. And we've got about 235 ml of lukewarm water. Now, if we put all that together, the total cost of this recipe is 45 pence. And we're going to get about 6 crumpets out of this, making each crumpet 7 pence a piece. Absolutely delicious crumpets, 7 pence. To begin with, we want to prepare the yeast. And for that, we want our teaspoon of sugar and we want our teaspoon of yeast. So take the top off there. We shall take a teaspoon out of here. There it is. That's not the full packet, by the way. We'll use that for something else later, maybe another round of these later. We want to mix that up and then we just want to let this bloom. So I'll cover that and I'll come back in about 10 minutes for that. And whilst the yeast is blooming, in the bowl we want 235 grams of plain flour. This is not bread flour, it's just plain flour. To that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of this baking powder. There it goes. And we're going to give that a generous pinch of salt. Very good. I'm just going to whisk all that together, make sure it's all well combined. That will do it. The yeast has started to froth, so I'm confident that that is alive and well. And I'm just going to pour all of that into the flour. Now, I'm going to mix that up just a little like that. First with the spatula. Very good. And now I'm going to get an electric whisk. And I'm going to whisk this for about a minute, couple of minutes. You can do it by hand if you don't have the electric whisk. But I have one over here, and what I'm going to do is just put that on relatively slow speed and whisk all this together. That will do it just fine. Now, I'll just scrape that down from the sides of the bowl, and this is what we want. It's like a slurry. Couldn't really call it a dough. It's more of a batter. So, having got all of that done and prepared, you see how simple this is to make crumpets? Next thing we want to do is just cover that with a tea towel, and I'm going to put that in a warm place. I'm going to leave it for about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll come back to it then, and then we'll make crumpets. Okay, so the dough is almost ready. I'm going to make the crumpets in these rings, and first of all, I'm just going to spread some of the butter on the inside of them, like this. That will do it. And on the hob I have a fairly heavy pan, frying pan, which is busy heating up, and that should be ready when we get our dough. Now that's had just over 45 minutes. As you can see, it's starting to bubble, and that's what we are after. So the next thing to do is to take all of this over to the hob and get some of these in the pan. I'm going to put both of these rings in the pan at the same time. I can only get 2 in this pan, and indeed I only have 2, so 2 it is. Now, they are just starting to sizzle a little bit, the butter's starting to sizzle, that's what we want. And now we want to spoon some of this dough into the rings. And we want to get this about halfway up. That's probably going to do it there. Now, we're just going to let these go for about 5 minutes on this side, then we'll flip them, give them 5 minutes on the other side. But you can see straight away this is starting to bubble up to give it that crumpet texture. They're going to be beautiful. Fresh out of the pan, lots of butter on. So, give them about 5 minutes. I'll turn the gas down a little, maybe a little warm in there. Radio, they've had about 5 minutes on that side. So what I'm going to do is just flip them like so. There we are. Now that ring has loosened, so I'm going to take that off. Now I realised I don't have any tongs, I just have a pair of pliers here, but I have cleaned the pliers, so they'll be okay. Take that ring out like that. I'll just pop that in the sink to cool it down, and we'll see how this other one's doing. That's looking good. See if it wants to come out. I'll just loosen that with a knife. Just nip it there and loosen that round. Now we'll give them another few minutes on that side and they should be good to go. Okay, I'm saying they're about there, so we'll take them out and we'll flip them onto this cooling rack. This looks beautiful. They are going to be delicious crumpets. Right, I'm going to butter the rings again, put them back in there. A little bit of butter around that one. Marvellous. And then the same thing, we just want to fill these up with the batter. I say fill them up halfway. That's great. And we've still got enough left here. Probably get another 1, maybe 2 out of that. We'll see how that goes. So, another 5 minutes for them. Okay folks, look at this. Homemade crumpet. Absolutely delicious and very simple to make, as you've seen. It's a simple, make that sloppy sort of batter slurry stuff. Let it prove. Get it in the pan, fry it for 5 minutes each side. And this is what you get. One absolutely delicious homemade crumpet. Now, I just want to say that I got 5 out of that recipe. I was hoping to get 6, but indeed I got 5. But I didn't use all of the butter either. I did price for twice the amount of butter which I actually used. So I'm going to leave the pricing about the same and say that this delicious homemade crumpet is 7p. Now, I'm going to tear into that. I'm going to get some butter on it. I'm going to tell you what's going on. Look at that, just to show you the texture of this. This is beautiful, sort of chewy. It's got the air holes in it and everything like that, as a good crumpet should have. And right now it's going to get covered in some butter. There it is. That is absolutely excellent. That has got to be one of the simplest recipes I've done so far. And it is a delicious homemade crumpet. Serve that up with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. Absolutely delicious. So there we have it, 5 homemade crumpets for 45p. A little bit cheaper, as I say, actually, because it didn't use that much butter. The butter was just to oil the rings with. You could indeed just use a cooking oil for that if you wished. 7p each for a marvellous crumpet. Very easy recipe. I do hope you give it a go. And as ever, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos making delicious homemade food at a very reasonable cost and very simple procedure as well, really, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. There's going to be many more of them. I think next week what we've got is a beautiful beef and ale cobbler. So this is like a beef and ale stew with plain scones on top of it. Going to be absolutely delicious for the autumn coming in here in the UK. That's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to finish off the rest of this crumpet. And in the meantime, can I say thank you very much for watching. And as I say, if you've enjoyed the video, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Many more to come.